Welcome, fellow Tarnished. Today we're unraveling the mysterious and fascinating psychological reasons why so many of us are drawn to playing Shadow of the Erdtree, the DLC for Elden Ring. Why do we feel the urge to conquer or suffer through the lands between again? Let's dig deep and find out. Playing Shadow of the Erdtree is more than just an individual experience. It's an immersive social calling. When we play a game at the same time en masse as our fellow gamers, we join in the bond that comes from having shared goals and challenges at the same point in time. We celebrate the victories we achieve with others. We join in the outrage of how difficult parts of the challenge might be. Online forums and communities become spaces where players exchange tips, recount the epic struggle, and build connections that range from parasocial all the way to all-out friendships. These connections can be especially meaningful as they offer a chance to engage with others who share the same passion as us. Also, the collaborative nature of multiplayer opportunity in Elden Ring encourages teamwork, which fosters a sense of camaraderie and belonging amongst all players. Once again, we're stronger than we ever would be apart, and I feel like I say that all the time whenever I make a video about a video game, but it's true. They teach us to connect and have teamwork and rely on other people. Having this strong sense of community in a game like Elden Ring significantly enhances our overall gaming experience, makes us feel like we're a part of something larger than ourselves. As a sidebar, there's a lot of discussion about spirit summons going on online in order to get through the Shadow of the Erdtree bosses. I use them, and here's my take on it. Although this could be its own video, but I digress. Spirit summons are a basic feature that were put in the game by the people who created the game, by the creator. Miyazaki put them in the game. They're meant to be used. The dialogue from the NPCs encourage us to use them. We can level them up specifically in the DLC areas with special shards that we can find in the environment. You're meant to use them and you're meant to level them up. If you want to have a personal challenge to beat the game without them, that's also fine. Play the way you want. That's the whole point of Elden Ring. In short, TLDR, enjoy Elden Ring however you want. Now we can get back to our list. While we dive into the concept of achievement and challenge for Elden Ring, I would just like to say that Elden Ring always has been able to tap into the intrinsic desire to overcome difficult obstacles and achieve greatness. Video games come with different levels of difficulty, and most games allow you to toggle that difficulty in the options. Elden Ring does not do that. And because of that, we're all stuck having the same experience. And a lot of people may try a little at first and then fall off and not continue playing. Other people think this is the best thing ever and they just play for hundreds up to thousands of hours. And the reason we do this is actually psychological. Each victory that we achieve, whether it's defeating a notoriously difficult boss or finding a new hidden area, it serves as a testament to our perseverance and our skill. That taps into enhancing our self-esteem. The sense of accomplishment we get in these moments releases a rush of dopamine, and that satisfying high gives us a sense of success. It's not only these fleeting moments that make Elden Ring such a complete experience. The map, the landscape, the entire journey, and the bosses all give us countless attempts to get farther, get better, dodge quicker, and we learn from our failures, which is something that's a really good skill to understand in our personal lives as well outside of being a gamer. Just because something didn't happen the way you wanted it at first does not mean it was a complete failure or a waste of time. We have to keep going. And if we're able to do that, we eventually achieve mastery for the thing. And Elden Ring is all about finding and achieving mastery. It gives us a sense of pride in our build, and that build becomes personal to us because it's the character that we created. And then there's also bragging rights. Whenever I'm talking with my friends about different bosses that I ran into, and they compare notes and talk about bosses they ran into, and sometimes I've beaten a boss that they haven't, they've beaten a boss that I haven't, and then we can share ideas about what it was like to get to that point. Sharing hard-earned victories with the gaming community, receiving praise, and encouraging others adds another layer to that social style of fulfillment. Games that challenge us to push our limits give us a reward from our efforts, and this carries on into our personhood, and that can be a part of who we are in our daily lives. It mirrors the trials and the triumphs that we're seeking in our real-life situations. And this reminds us of our potential. Potential is so important because it motivates us to tackle the challenges in front of us. Potential is just an idea of what we could be, but when we overcome the challenge that we're facing, that potential becomes reality. And that's one of the best things Elden Ring gives us, is the ability to bring our potential into the reality of what we're playing in that one singular game. We can also dive a bit deeper into the concept of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Everyone knows that already. I don't know why I had to define it. But let's do this. The psychological phenomenon of FOMO is a strong driving force, especially when it comes to Elden Ring. There are many times where I lose and it's annoying, it's obnoxious, it feels borderline unfair, and I don't want to keep going. But then I think I can't make a video over a game that I quit, so then I have to keep playing. The release of Shadow of the Erdtree in and of itself created such a buzz because Elden Ring was this pinnacle of gaming fulfillment for a lot of people. And now we have a whole new layer to rediscover that sense of joy, maybe not joy, despair. No, it's not despair. It's like joyful despair. Does that work? Okay. Whenever I go into social media and look up things about Elden Ring, there's lots of experiences people are sharing, there's lots of frustrations, there's also triumphs, the discussions, the live streams, the hype about the new content. It's all part of the excitement. And we see that excitement happening for other people. And naturally, there's going to be some curiosity that awakens inside us and makes us want to become joined with it, become a part of that discussion. So when we join that excitement, we also are able to get our own version of those discoveries that we see from other people. In fact, I was telling my son the other day that I defeated this one particular boss, and he just opened up immediately, not being an Elden Ring player, and said, "Oh yeah, I watched a YouTuber take that boss down last week." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So my son even is connected to this understanding of what Shadow of the Erdtree is all about, even though he doesn't play Elden Ring. How amazing is that we have a game that people want to understand, even if they don't want to play it? That's what mythology is, people. That's why I'm always talking about video games being the modern form of mythology. Okay, back to the list. Missing out on our shared experiences also can make us feel isolated. And a cultural event is happening, and we can't join in it. We can't enjoy it the way other people are. That is not a good feeling. So beyond playing the game, we also want to participate so that we're part of the collective enthusiasm. We want to be able to share our tips, we want to share our war stories, post our screenshots, and share our reactions in shorts or reels or TikToks or whatever. So this communal involvement across all players, both playing the game and just wanting to be aware of the game, ensures that whether you're passive in your activity as a viewer or you're watching it or you're playing it actively, you're part of the evolving narrative of the game. And so you're overcoming FOMO just by participating in Shadow of the Erdtree right now. Keeping up with this latest DLC means that you are staying relevant, that your opinions are informed about the game, and you're able to join in conversations across gaming communities all over the world, all over the internet, to at least be able to share your perspective. That's a really powerful feeling. And I don't think that we should overlook the role that FOMO plays in us wanting to be in Shadow of the Erdtree ourselves. There are also deeper implications for how games like Elden Ring test our limits and foster personal growth. And also, this is what my entire chapter in the psychology of Elden Ring was actually about. It's our personal hero's journey to become Elden Lord. Now with the DLC, there's an extension to that, and I'm really excited to see if there's a need for me to update that chapter for a future edition, which I wasn't even thinking about when I wrote it, but I'm sure there will be, because now there's an alternate ultimate goal. At its core, Elden Ring is an intricate tapestry of challenges that require strategic thinking, quick reflexes, and relentless perseverance. I actually read this morning that someone that beat one of the toughest bosses in Shadow of the Erdtree took over 1,000 attempts to do it. When's the last thing you tried something 1,000 times and kept going until you got it? That is dedication right there. Just bring that into anything in life and you're going to do great. So each time we engage with the game, we're not just battling in-game enemies, we're also confronting our own limitations and pushing past them. This process is incredibly empowering if you're able to experience it. By facing the daunting bosses and navigating the complex landscapes and just looking at that map and figuring out how to get to the little blue tick that you dropped somewhere, that helps us learn and discover our inner ability to remain calm under pressure. We have to keep trying, we have to keep mentally rotating, we have to keep our mental cognition up to par so that we're able to do it. And then every time we are able to do each of those things, the sense of accomplishment, overcoming the obstacles, this again, it enhances our self-esteem and it reinforces our belief that we're able to tackle difficult situations, both in gaming and in real life. Whenever we say out loud the sentence, "I can do hard things," we're not just talking about video games like Elden Ring, but virtual spaces found in Elden Ring are some of the best places to practice that mantra. We can do hard things. This is a vivid reminder that growth stems from actually showing up and facing the toughest challenges we can possibly encounter. When we look back at our progression from struggling with the basics to mastering advanced techniques, we see a clear journey of personal development. And how wonderful is it to look at something where you see in the numbers and in the experience that you're getting better over time? And a lot of times we do get better in our physical world life, but it's not as clear that we are because we carry the thoughts that we had when we were struggling with us, even though we're getting better. Video games snap us out of that, and they give us the opportunity to actually tell in measurable and noticeable ways that we are getting stronger, we are more capable, we're competent, we are growing, and we're going to get where we're trying to get. Another area is escapism. And absolutely, escapism is one of the most compelling reasons why people immerse themselves in games like Elden Ring. This is one of my most passionate topics as a mental health professional, and it's one that many people get wrong when they do the kind of work I do, but they inaccurately judge video games. Escape is not a bad thing. On its own, it's the phenomena that allows us to mentally fade into enjoyment with a book, a TV show, our favorite leisure activities, our hobbies. It allows our mind to let go of worrying for a time and activate our imagination. So people who think escape and flow are bad, they probably lack imagination. Sorry, I had to insert that. There's no way around it. I just really feel it at the core of my being. So people who believe escape is a sign of an addiction, instead of realizing that it's part of the flow state, are likely not interested in noticing the creative elements that people merge their consciousness into when they enjoy things, and that's sad. But back to playing Elden Ring. The rich world of the Lands Between, and also the Shadowlands, offers a sanctuary where we can temporarily set aside our real-world responsibilities and dive into an alternate reality that's filled with awe-inspiring landscapes, intriguing lore, and endless adventures. This is one of the most amazing video game worlds I've ever seen. This form of escapism isn't just about avoidance. It's a proactive way to manage stress and recharge our mental batteries. Whether we're exploring ancient ruins, engaging in epic boss battles, or simply soaking in the breathtaking environment, or running before we get burned, or poisoned, or fall off a cliff. Anyway, these moments create a mental buffer that helps us return to our daily lives feeling more refreshed and balanced. Actually, gaming as a hobby provides a structured way to spend free time. It offers entertainment and a sense of achievement. For many, the consistency of logging into a familiar game world, progressing through the challenges, and achieving goals becomes a gratifying routine. But a lot of people misunderstand that routine and judge it, and that causes self-esteem issues. But playing the game itself is actually a source of joy. So it's a modern-day refuge from things like anxiety, depression, relational struggles, and trauma. Elden Ring gives us another digital playground that allows us to entertain and enrich our lives, as long as we remember to sign out, quit the game, and do the things we need to do in our daily lives. But if all those are handled and games are a form of entertainment, fun, and joy and accomplishment, do it. Keep going. Also, the social discourse again for Elden Ring adds an entirely new dimension to the gaming experience. By sharing your journey, whether it's a screenshot, a clip of a hard-fought victory, or a theory about the game's lore, you're becoming a part of the story of Elden Ring, a global community of gamers who are completely invested in the lore and mythos of this fictional property. This interaction is more than superficial. It's about exchanging ideas, learning from other players' strategies, collaborating, and uncovering secrets that we are not going to discover for years from now. Discussing the nuances of the story and our interpretations of the NPCs, debating the significance of certain characters, and joking about the shared struggle. This creates camaraderie and connection. Every single time I go to a fan convention to talk about the psychology of video games, I see people who do different poses from Elden Ring, and without sharing a word, we make a connection. That's powerful. This aspect of gaming transforms playing a video game with a controller in hand from being a solitary act into a rich social experience that gives us belonging beyond the screen. And this makes every player's contribution valuable to the larger puzzle of what Elden Ring is going to become in the history of video games. So there you have it. From belonging to testing your limits, there are countless psychological reasons to immerse yourself in Elden Ring Shadows of the Erdtree. But enough about my thoughts. I want to hear from you. Please go ahead and share your Elden Ring experience with me in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow Tarnished, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell. Stay tuned because I have an exciting lineup of videos planned for you to add to the playlist, Until next time, remember, enjoy every moment of your adventure in the world of Elden Ring and continue the journey. See you soon.